Welcome, I'm Nina Gryphon, and this is the Astrology and Magic channel. Today we'll talk about the astrology of week 2 of May 2025. That covers May 11th through the 17th. First off, I'd like to say thanks to all of my patrons. I appreciate all of your support. If you would like to become a patron and get access to these forecasts early, or if you would like at the highest tier to get access to my monthly Magical Elections ebook, which teaches you how and when to make astrological talismans, you can go to patreon.com/Nina Gryphon. May 12th, Mercury at 3 Taurus will square Pluto in Aquarius. If you have seen my previous videos, you know I consider Mercury the god of meaning as really his deepest essence. Mercury is who sends us omens and signs to be interpreted, and he also gives us the faculty to read them and assign them meaning. That is why he is the god of language, because language is a set of symbols that we must decode. That is also why he is a trickster god, because meaning shifts with the context, and nothing ever has just one layer of meaning. Mercury square to Pluto is a good opportunity to show Mercury's essential meaning-making nature. He wrestles with the Lord of the Underworld now, and we can think of this as a moment when we are faced with death, the ultimate reality, and are called upon to give it meaning. This may not be literal death, but the end of something now happens, and we must contextualize it in a larger narrative. This is not always easy for modern people, because our spiritual instinct is often taken over, it's been taken away with nothing to replace it. And yet, it is the most important thing we can do. Look at the meaning of an ending, and from that, draw the purpose for yet another renewal. May 12th, we also have the full moon at 22 degrees of Scorpio. Now, this full moon is ruled by Mars, so the focus over the next 2 weeks will be on martial matters, separations, aggression, and disruption, but also the opportunity to show bravery and to laugh in the face of terror and intimidation. That is the other side of Mars that we don't always appreciate or act upon. Mars is in Leo, and he is a bit too distant to aspect the Sun-Moon axis. Instead, his closest aspect is a trine to Venus, whom he receives into his domicile of Aries. So this highlights an extended Venus-Mars trine that began in late March when Venus re-entered Pisces, and that will persist until early June when she enters Taurus. So the themes of aggression tempered with a desire for peace continue. On a personal level, this is a very dynamic and externally focused combination. It possesses a flaming beauty, and being in fire signs is very visual. So beauty, seeing, and being seen are a big part of the attraction now. The full moon axis also trines Saturn in Pisces, which makes the whole experience a bit more subdued, or perhaps even adds a bit of sorrow or restriction, a kind of memento mori, in the midst of all that springtime revelry brought by Venus and Mars. May 17th, the Sun at 27 Taurus conjoins Uranus. This brief aspect is worth mentioning, as it can bring shocks and surprises. Now, it is on Algol, which is a fixed star that represents the eye in the head of the Gorgon Medusa, and this can bring enlightenment and sudden flashes of truth, as well as violent shocks. Medusa contains great power and magic within. In mythology, when Perseus decapitates her, the blood from her neck gives rise to serpents and scorpions, while her severed head literally petrifies whoever meets its gaze. So Algol is both fertile and death-dealing, and can be the instrument of cosmic justice if seized and wielded wisely. So the shocks we experience now are similarly petrifying, but can actually be fertilizing and transformative if only we know to take them in the right spirit. May 17th, Mercury at 13 Taurus squares Mars at 13 Leo. We can continue the theme of Mercury as meaning maker with his square to Mars. How do we extract meaning from a situation that comes at us in a demanding and aggressive way? It was said of Ares, the Greek god of war, that he always showed himself on the battlefield with blood-curdling screams. His aim was to intimidate and paralyze his opponents, but of course falling into fear is precisely what we must not do. Mars demands to be met the same way he is, fearlessly and even laughingly. It is then that we can stay calm enough to perform the hermeneutical work of interpretation that Mercury demands and understand the meaning of the event that we are experiencing. If we let Mars knock us off our center, we cannot take the larger view of what is happening and why it's happening. This type of analysis is what's now needed to command the situation. Thanks for watching. My name is Nina Gryphon, and this is the Astrology and Magic channel.